Hello, wildflowers. Welcome to the Empower Portal membership. I'm celebrating you for being here and stepping into your personal journey and your power through these different portals that we're learning about in the Crystal Clear program. So today we are diving into the second last portal in our bodies, the energetic portal, and it is our third eye. So it's the space between the eyebrows, and it's actually the pineal gland just right behind the eyebrows. We have this little gland that feels things and knows things, and this is what we're going to be talking about today. So in my world, I like to call the chakras power portals because they really are these, how I've experienced them in my own life. They're these, I'm going to use the word portal again, portals that help us step up into whatever we want to be. And I went around for a long time in my life, going to different doctors and therapists and different things, and those modalities are really wonderful and I still use them, but what really shifted my energy, my balance in my darkest times were working with energy and these power portals to understand what life balance looked like. Because we all know that life balance is challenging these days. There's so many things that we have to be doing and 17 places we have to go, and we have to be making enough money to live the lives we want, so we're working more, and we feel that, right? We feel that every day in our bodies. So as I started to decondition the way I was raised and the values that I was raised, not all of them, but valuing work and working only, and got into here, I saw my life start to change. I started to feel better. I started to see opportunities that I really wanted to come into my world, and it really blew my mind away, and I just knew I had to teach that to you. So I envision, in my world, I envision a power portal, each power portal like a spinning wheel. And when the power portal's open and receiving and flowing and feeling good, it spins. Yay, we want that. Now, if there's some blockage, whether the energetic blockage is because of right now or because of when you were younger, the wheel might stop spinning or it gets a little slower. So naturally, you can imagine like an open or closed window. You want the window to be open, so there's a free flow. As soon as the window closed, like you can't get in, okay? So this center in particular, you can imagine that wheel, that big portal, as the color indigo. And anatomically, like I said, it's right here. Energetically, it's our higher mind. So it's how we think, it's how we feel inside, those deeper knowings that you have. So for example, if you're driving along the highway, you're doing your thing, and you were supposed to get off at an exit, and something in your body is like, ooh, don't do that exit. Let's just go one more exit today. And you go off the exit and you turn, and then there's your favorite fried chip place right on the side of the highway after you get off that second exit. It's that feeling. It's the intuitive feelings that are inside of you that guide you in a different direction than you were going to go. You know, those little like, oh, fuck, I knew that. Or like those moments where you're like thinking of someone and then they text you. That comes in through this energy hole. Like this is this portal. Those synchronicities, you can feel into them. You can feel into them when you move past the layers of the mind. So this is a really intuitive space in our body. It's called the third eye. So this idea that the pineal gland actually reflects the inside of the mind. So how am I going to explain this so it doesn't sound too woo-woo? So it reflects back inside. So it's showing us what we already know. We already know things, but we were taught that sometimes we don't know things, right? Because in the traditional school system, if you were like me, we learned, hey, from kindergarten to grade 12, I learned a lot of science, I learned a lot of math, I learned a lot of these like practical things, but I didn't learn how to communicate with other people. I didn't learn how to share my feelings. I didn't learn any of the feminine expression of who we are. So if that's the same situation for you, you might have this like, ooh, Erin, are you sure? Are you sure? Well, lean into it and try it for yourself. Just see like, okay, if you get one of those weird feelings, those weird like, okay, follow it and see where it takes you. And maybe it takes you somewhere different than you thought, but better than you hoped, okay? So with this center, there is a masculine and a feminine expression in the center. And the masculine expression is anything you're gonna do for your hope, faith, mind. So what this looks like is if you like to go to church, if you are into that world, that if you have a spiritual practice, it looks like that. It's connecting to this different energy inside of you. This also looks like mental health. So I I put therapists and any mental health both in the mind's eye and the solar plex, because I think it's important because it lives in more than one spot. So anytime you go to a therapy appointment, amazing. You just fueled your third eye in a positive way. So it's going to spin. If you, let's say, don't follow a feeling or skip out on your therapy appointment or skip on your spiritual practice or your meditation would also be for here, right? Calming the mind to get past the mind to really feel what you're feeling. Then you're going to feel that center in a more lower vibrational way and you might not feel as good. And again, I'm not saying it's good or bad, and I'm not saying man or woman, it's masculine, feminine. We all have it all. It just all is. Instead of attaching that like positive or negative all the time, because we're always like, oh, this, that. Well, what if it just could all exist? What if it could just all be, and it could be different every time? So in the masculine section of this center, it really is that mindset, clearing the mind, and clearing the mind looks different for everybody. So for example, I could sit for half an hour and be in this like really spiritual Reiki meditation, and that could be my way of doing it. And maybe your way of doing it is in a beginner meditation, breath work, moving past the mind to the inner knowings. That's what this center is all about, the inner knowings. So now that's the masculine expression. It's the doing of the things, it's the sitting down, it's the taking action to feel good in this center, however that looks for you. And then the feminine expression over here is the feeling behind it. The feeling behind it, do you want to trust yourself? This center is all about self-trust, like deep self-trust. Let me say deep one more time, self-trust. Because this one is, signals sometimes don't make sense. Some of the knowings that you find sometimes don't make sense. And then you're met with people who are like, oh, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. But it can make sense to you. So when you look at the feminine expression, you want to start to ask yourself, how do I want to feel with myself? How do I want to feel with my inner knowings, these deeper things inside of me? Like, am I honoring me? Am I honoring my mind, how I think? Are you sharing the way you think with the world, right? Are you allowing yourself to have an opinion? So many women were like, we're good. Yeah, sure, whatever you want. Yeah, I kind of like them, I kind of don't, yeah, sure. Right? We're so like neutral and laissez-faire but we can have opinions, and that's okay. And that's what this center is about. It's being like, hey, you know what? I don't like that. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's good. Like, don't do that. Instead of just being like, do whatever you want. You know, like having an opinion. So how do you want to stand up in that area of your life? Do you want to meditate more? Do you want a spiritual practice? Do you want to be there? So start to create a vision for yourself. And I'm not talking goals. I'm not talking like this. I want you to go from a feeling. I want you to ask yourself truly and honestly how you want to feel as the expressed woman in this center. And then when you have that vision all set up for yourself, you have the feelings, you know what you want to do, maybe you pick some key words, and then you take this and you're like, okay, I really want to meditate every day. Maybe it's not realistic. I'm just going to help you out here, baby steps. Not realistic to go from not meditating at all to meditating all the time. Because what's going to happen is you're not going to show up for yourself every day, because it's very, very difficult to go from a no habit to a full habit. And then you're going to feel bad, shame, guilt for not showing up. You're going to disappoint yourself, and then you're going to stop. So what I would recommend you do is look at that list and be like, okay, my goal is the vision, not the goal. The vision is I really want to meditate every day. And the reason why I want to meditate every day is because I really do feel when I meditate, my mind is more clear. I can stand up for my community in better ways and bigger ways. I'm more calm. See the feeling behind why you want to meditate. And then you take it, you create the bridge to the masculine expression, and you go, what I'm going to do, one tiny little inspired action is I'm going to start meditating on Monday mornings. I'm going to start my week off, meditate Monday mornings. I'm going to try that for a couple weeks, see how it feels, and then start to add in maybe Wednesday mornings, and then maybe Friday mornings. And then you start to take that inspired action, and this is where you start to transfer the energy, transform it into something different. Now, what you want to be doing here is making sure when you take something from here and bringing it over here, it's actually what you want to be doing, and it's not what other people want you to be doing. So this is really what I want you to get into, the individuality of the self-care here. Now, for my women who are entrepreneurs, who are creatives, who are building brands, building empires, businesses, all of the things. Now, we're talking about the basic 101 of Crystal Clear right now, but I also have a whole third layer around this, around entrepreneurship. And there's an archetype for each center so that you can be the woman you want to be within your business. Now, the one here is the wild woman. It's the wild woman. So the wild woman archetype in my world is like, hey, are you showing up and being you? So for me, what that looked like was really getting comfortable being naked on the internet. Like, I didn't think I was going to be that person, but I had to allow all of the energies inside of me that have been caged, that I thought I had to cage, that in to allow to release. And when I allowed that all to release from me and be the wild woman I want to be and have the wild opinions and be a thought leader and do all these things, because thought leaders are the ones that challenge other people. And I bet you if you're here, you're one of those too. So if you're that thought leader, like, you want to be able to share it, that wildness, without shame, guilt, apology, because generally the communities we were raised in don't see those parts of us. We are raised in families that think different, feel different, and if you were raised in a family that like allowed that space for you, I'm so happy for you. But if you didn't, I got you too. So you want to be able to kind of move around there. So if you're not opening up your wild woman portal, odds are you won't be able to express the way you really want to express with the world, your mission and your things. So now what I want to do is go into a little meditation here. And before we do, going back to indigo, this is indigo. And in this portal, there's 2 affirmations that you can use here. Actually, I'm going to use one of them. I'm not going to share the other one right now. This is I see. This is I see. So what do you see deeper than what the world's telling you to see? Right? What do you see deeper than that? So now we're going to go into that little visualization. You can sit up nice and tall, close your eyes. Palms can be on your lap, roll your shoulders down your spine. And start to breathe in and out of your nose, up and down your body. Breathing into the low abdominals, the ribs, the chest. And exhaling back down. And take your palms together, spread your fingers as you do that. So create a big prayer pose, spread fingers, and then take your thumb, I want the actual thumb, the pad of the thumb, to come in between the eyebrows. And if you wanted to, you could bring your elbows together, but you don't have to. And then I want you to feel the energy underneath your thumbs. There's nothing you have to do, I just want you to notice it. And I want you to ask yourself right now, is this spot in your body open or closed? And you'll innately know. And if it's open, I want you to imagine just it opening more and more. So on the inhale, imagine the brightness shining through this portal, indigo. Then exhale, softening into that inner knowing. If you feel it's closed, what I want you to do is start to take your thumbs in a counterclockwise circle, just a really gentle circle, and start to massage this spot in your body. If it's open, you can absolutely do that too. I just want you to start to tap into this energy. These are the higher chakras. The higher chakras are the throat, the third eye, and the crown. The heart is the bridge to that. And generally speaking, a lot of people don't actually have the opportunity in this lifetime to tap into the higher chakras just because they're so caught in their lower ones. And we're a little less comfortable in our higher ones. So if that's the case for you, just start to just be with it. Just be like, oh, wow, that's new information. What if that could be true? If your mind's like, what is she talking about? What if it could be true? And just start to feel into that. What could be possible if you allowed your wild to be free? What wildness in your body wants to be free? Start to feel into that. Take a couple more breaths there, and all I want you to do is just notice. Maybe where you're holding yourself back in this place, are you sharing from this place? Maybe you're already like a whiz at this place, amazing. When you're ready, stop doing circles. Breathe in, stretch your arms all the way up, open up your arms. And then exhale, palms back together, down through the crown to the chest, down through the forehead, through the throat, bringing all of that energy, that power down into the heart. One hand on heart, one hand on belly, anchor in, bring it down. If you want to stay here longer, stay here longer. Take this in, feel into it. This might have awakened different things in all of you. If you're ready to come back to the space, you can flutter the eyes open, come back and see me. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Take your time, slow and sweet if you really got in there. And I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are floating around on the internet right now. And the light in me sees the light in you. So please keep going.